Welcome back. We have seen a number of long-serving inmates released from prison of late. Most recently, Ray Gray, who had served almost 50 years for a crime he still insists he didn't commit. I had done a story months ago on Ray, and it came to me courtesy of Bill Proctor. It was an interesting revelation when I came to realize that two former Detroit TV reporters that I long admired and respected had left their microphones and separately had joined what we've come to know as innocence projects. Bill Proctor of Channel 7 and Scott Lewis of Channel 2 now spend their days and many nights working to free inmates who they believe are wrongly imprisoned. Guys, I really glad to have, I've been wanting to have this conversation for a long time. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the work you're doing, though, I'm curious about how each of you found your way to this path. Was it that while you were working as reporters, you realized that there was a lot of injustice, or was it something that happened after you left? Bill, let me start with you.
Well, as a reporter, you get people who bring you information, stories, backgrounds, and that was my lucky break, and that I heard from a private investigator. His name is Al Woodside, who told me all about the wrongful conviction of Frederick Thomas Freeman back in 1986 in Port Huron. It was a murder on the campus of the community college there. A young man, Scott Macklem, shot to death 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, it turns out that Mr. Freeman, according to my investigator, was in fact over 400 miles away outside of Escanaba in Rock, Michigan. So all of those things kind of brought me to the table.
And Scott, how about you?
Well, I got a letter from a guy named Justly Johnson, and he said he was wrongfully convicted, and the Wisconsin Innocence Project was working with him. That piqued my interest because I grew up in Wisconsin, so I ordered the file. I took it home, I read it on my own time, and when I finished, I was like, how could these guys be in prison? This doesn't make any sense. So I did a story on Justly Johnson and Kendrick Scott, who were accused of murdering a woman named Lisa Kindred. And I uncovered some new evidence. There was an 8-year-old boy in the car that the police had never interviewed. After I put that on TV, the Michigan Innocence Clinic jumped into the case, and ultimately they took it to the Michigan Supreme Court, and Justly and Kendrick were released primarily based on that newly discovered evidence I found of the 8-year-old boy.
Wow. I think that, you know, one of the fun things that I've always enjoyed about television news is that at the end of every day, I can see exactly what I or we as a building have done. You guys now have to work on much longer, crazy long time frames, understanding that the work that you're doing today may never bear fruit. Bill, for instance, the Ray Gray case, years and years and years that you worked on that.
Actually, it was brought to me by the folks up in Canada. Back then it was called Midwick, but it's now called Innocence Canada. And yes, 2006 was when I was introduced to the case and Ray Gray. And over the years as a reporter, then later as an investigator, I knocked on a number of doors, actually talked to the killer before he died of a drug overdose, talked to the woman who's still believed to be a co-conspirator. She's still alive. And I managed to get an affidavit from her only in the last 12, 14 months, so that lawyers had someone who was alive who was able to identify the two people who actually did the robbery and murder. So with that in mind, it does take a long time.
But you are pointing out something that's really important to this, and that is the skill set that you developed as a reporter is now the skill set you use in your new role. Correct, Scott?
It's pretty much the same thing. You're just following leads, you know, and see where they take you. And in my case, with Justly Johnson and Kendrick Scott, it took from 2012 to 2018. And, you know, it is rewarding in TV to see your work and to get awards from your peers and that sort of thing. But there's nothing like the feeling you get when you do work that helps someone get out of prison. It's really amazing. When Justly and Kendrick were ordered released by the judge, the Detroit News was kind to me. They said Lewis was emotional in the courtroom. Actually, I was bawling like a baby. It's really it's an incredible feeling. Bill will attest to that.
I can't imagine that you had any experience back in the Channel 2 days that matched watching somebody get out of prison.
No, I had a lot of highlights and I had a wonderful career. I love television, but this is really something different. And the other thing is, along the way, there are so many obstacles, so many roadblocks, so many frustrations that when you finally get to the end zone and the ball crosses the end zone, it's just such a wonderful feeling. And I just wish that we could speed this process up, get more people involved in what Bill and I are doing, get more lawyers involved, get some help for the more lawyers for the integrity integrity unit at the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. They're doing good work, but there's so much of it, Devin. I've got contacts from almost 1,000 inmates now.
This is the crux that I really wanted to get to. I think we all want to believe that it's a very sad but very rare thing that happens when an innocent person is put in prison. You're both going to shake your heads. It's just not rare at all, is it, Bill?
Unfortunately, Devin, no. The estimates run from 2% of the nation's prison population to 5, even 6%. Some go so far as to think that 10% of the people who are imprisoned in this country are in fact innocent of the crimes that sent them there. And see, that's always the issue. You have aggressive police investigators who feel that whatever else someone did, and it justifies their misconduct to get their conviction. And it is unfortunate that it is the human frailty, the human decisions to do the wrong thing to get a conviction that makes our system of laws and process and procedure shaky. I mean, it just puts the whole thing standing on quicksand, and on any given day, someone can be swallowed up for something they didn't do.
Scott, lastly, why don't you reflect on that too? Where's the problem?
I think I'd kick Bill's number up maybe even to 15% in Michigan. And one of the problems is in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, we had a lot of corrupt police officers in homicide. Then the other end of the equation is they didn't get good representation in the Wayne County Circuit Court. A lot of them had unappointed lawyers, were being paid peanuts, didn't do much work on the case. They didn't get any investigators. And in an effort to move cases on, a lot of times these lawyers would talk people into pleading guilty to crimes they didn't even do. And these people are not all angels. Sometimes they were dope men, and the cops just took the attitude, well, they're a thorn in our side. They've done enough that they deserve to be in prison, so they drop a murder on them. It's really crazy. It's an eye-opener.
Well, the inmates on whose behalf you both work have some terrific people in their corner, that's for sure. Terrific reporters you were, and now the work you're doing now, perhaps even more important. Guys, thanks so much for the time, and keep us all posted on the cases that we all need to know about and get behind.
Thanks for having us, Devin.
You bet, guys. Wrap things up for Flashpoint right after this.